Hey guys. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, can everyone hear me out there in Schizoid land, huh? How you schizos doing, huh? Hopefully you're doing well. Trying to make some fun stuff. Hmm. What sounds good to me right now? Sounds okay, I guess. Sorry, guys. Oh, this sounds nice. I'll go with this one. Feel like some weird core. There you go. Alright. You'll be here already? That's good. Peekaboo. I'm over here today. 30. How you doing, lady? Funny. Like, the thing that's pretty funny is, oh shoot, I thought I changed the category. Stupid thing. Oh my god, is it still saying the other title? Oh my god. Hold on a second here. I really hate the way Twitch works sometimes. They do some pretty dumb stuff. Should be working now. Hopefully. There we go. Twitch took a poop for a second there. Okay. Okay. What a mess. What a mess out there, huh? Anyway, okay, so welcome as usual. Welcome to Schizoid Saturdays. Let's see here. Well, Schizoid Saturdays is where generally I bring up a specific question that I posed on the server. I usually have a few submissions, I read those, and then we sort of contemplate, discuss, and stream of consciousness in whatever way that we feel like about that subject. And usually, in some capacity or another, the whole kind of schizoid's difficulties, neurodivergence sometimes comes up as very common issues. And the questions are usually geared. A lot of the questions I ask can often seem kind of innocuous, but they answer questions. Even like a lack of response kind of gives me a response. And that's kind of what happened this time. I didn't have that many submissions for this one, and I kind of figured I wouldn't. So I wanted to see if that was be the case, and it looks like it mostly is. So it's pretty interesting. Though if you did want to submit but you didn't, please do so. You'd be more than welcome to do it now. If you're watching this live, that would be fine. Okay, so let me get into it. I am tired. No mania today. I'm not tired. I'm just like, I think I'm a little sad. Yeah, I'm feeling kind of depressed actually. Yeah, I'm a little depressed. But hey, conversation can sometimes help me pull it out anyway. Make it happen. Find that little bit of energy somewhere in there. Okay, so the question was this. Most people associate nostalgia with social events and people they connected to and interacted with objects of nostalgia serving as a catalyst toward accessing memories of feeling socially comfortable and safe or happy around others. Most schizoids I've spoken to do not associate nostalgia with this. When you think of the comfort that sometimes nostalgia can bring, where is it located? What does it look like, and how much of it is inside your mind and has less to do with the external world? So I wanted to know about, the Zoids' relationships with nostalgia, if it even functions for them in any capacity, or if there is a way, but I can't quite word it, or it isn't exactly nostalgia. I know I vibe to some degree with nostalgia. It just depends. It depends on if the mood strikes me, and if there's new elements or a new way to experience a novel way to experience what I had previously experienced. Like, it's not often, like, I don't understand people that like will play through the same video game over and over. I mean, if you have mods and stuff, like, whatever, that's fine. But I never understood why playing through it over and over, but unless like there's a novelty, right? Like if they release it on a different console and they added features and difficulties and God knows what else, a later iteration or a re-release of it, then I'm like, okay, that's a fun way to wax nostalgic about something that I previously enjoyed. It's a concept, an idea. But it's funny because when it comes to nostalgia, I don't even know if it counts, right? When I play something, like when I think back at a game I played, it feels like it has very little to do with the memory of uh of when I played it, but more like the memory maybe of what I thought of it when I did play it and what I think of it now. And that's really interesting. But it's rarely like, oh, I remember I was 12 and I was playing this on the, or I was 14 playing on my PS1, right? And and N64 or whatever, and I did this and I did that. It's like I don't really have any memories like that when it comes to the things, but I do have a sense of nostalgia in the sense that like I do remember I really loved the game Mischief Makers for the Nintendo 64. I have very fond memories of the game. Not so much memories of myself playing the game. Just like I try to think because I played through that game multiple times when I was a kid. The reason I would play through a game multiple times is because, well, that was the only game I had. And I would like try to speed run it or whatever in my own like little head for fun, try to get faster at it or whatever, or do it without getting hit. I'd make little challenges for myself. But if I close my eyes and I think about this game, and I really cherish this game, it's called Mischief Makers. It's just really fun and silly and cute and challenging enough, and had a lot of really cool elements. And same thing with the Doraemon, not Doraemon, yeah, Doraemon, the ninja dude on the N64. That game is really fun, really silly. Um, but like I try to think about them, and all the only thing I can like visualize is the game itself and elements of it and things I liked about it and scenes from it or sequences that I liked. I can't remember where I was when I played it. I can't remember how old exactly I was. I can't remember who was around. I can't remember which of the different places I had grown up in because we had moved a few times. It was. I can't remember how I got it, where I got it from, who gave it to me. If I got it with as a present on Christmas or birthday. I can't remember anything like that. I remember nothing like that. And it's just I don't know if what I'm describing when I think of something that I had played as a kid and I go, yeah, this is like very cool. And even as an adult, I'll look at it and I'll go, oh, I could see the worth of it. Like, in fact, I could see more than I could as a kid as to why it was interesting and valuable. or fascinating to me. But is that nostalgia? Is that nostalgia? What is that? That's what's kind of weird. Like, if I okay, so this one's interesting. Hold on, where is it? Let me see. Hello Computer Windows files shit themselves, so I've been trying to fix that for a few hours now. Problem will make it to VC in time. It's okay, Shadow. Don't worry about it. I can do the reliving through younger eyes, but I also much prefer how the me now interacts with me then. Yeah, I can see that. See here, Petrat. Oh, hi, Petrat. Or, PDA Mama Bear. You should just change. Why don't you change your, your username to the PDA Mama Bear one? Considering, especially if you're gonna end up, you should make an account for if you ever decide to do a channel and stuff there. Um, in any case, Trudy says I have a bottle cap collection from when I was homeless. My nostalgia is related to pieces and myself, not people. Curious, do schizoids have vivid visual memories, or is it often fuzzy or barely even there? Well, it depends, right? It depends on if you're talking, you know. So some of them have very strong memories, but it also depends on the kind of schizoid they are, honestly. Like a lot of like autistic people have really really good memories about what stuff looked like and everything. So if you're talking to an autistic schizoid, you're probably gonna have one that has a good memory. If you're talking to a schizoid, maybe things will be a little foggier or more dissociated. I don't know. Just depends. Varies. For me, I wouldn't say I have a powerful memory. I do like things that I found stimulating or interesting. Then my memory is really, really good, and I can visualize things very, very vividly. But as far as like events in time that I participated, like things I participated in, and I could sit there and meditate trying to like dig the memories, and I probably could, but they're so hard to. It actually gives me like almost anxiety because I can't hold on to them. Like I can't. They're just like flickers, like real quick. Just like it's just not. Yeah, but if you tell me, hey, hi Angst, close your eyes and visualize, this movie or the contents of this book you liked or this event in history you found interesting or whatever footage you saw of this. Yeah, I can picture that stuff. I can imagine new things, right? I have a pretty good, strong imagination. I can visualize, I play out little movies in my head, right, of things. Um, but if you ask me, does it recall some memory of the time that my family took me to some place when I was like, 15 or 14 or something? It's gone. It's been gone since like my 20s. Like it's not like, oh, it's because I got older and it's too long ago. No, it's always kind of been that way. I couldn't even remember much about what I did the year prior. It was just like there'd be a few snippets of like, oh yeah, I remember I went to that place and it was kind of cool. Oh, how long ago was that? I do this to my wife all the time. She just laughs or makes fun, but like I'll be like, oh man, like I remember we bought that like I'll be like we bought that like I don't know, was it like a year ago? And she's like, we bought this like 4 months ago. I'm like, oh, because she has a really good memory. Or I'll be like, oh yeah, it's been like what, like 5 years since we been here, and she's like, we were here 3 years or like 2 years ago. What are you talking about? I'm like, and I'll think about it, and I'll be like, oh yeah, we were, but it's real fuzzy. It's like, yeah, 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 we were, huh? And she'll just look at me like, come on, guy. So curious how many people have severely deficient autobiographical memories that impacts emotional memory, kills the sense of nostalgia. Yeah, that's just interesting. I think most, I would say most schizoids probably don't have like the best autobiographical memory. Um, but I don't know. See, it can differ between the zoids that are on the schizo side of things or the autist side of things. It just depends. It depends on a bunch of cognitive features and also the type of uh, way. Like some zoids are more dissociated than others. Others are more derealized than others. Some are not at all. In fact, they're just like they're dissociated from their feelings, but not so much like their environment. Like it just varies. It really does. But it often has to do with, yeah, if you weren't emotionally connected to, what was happening growing up and the things around you, and the people around you, then it's unlikely you're gonna like develop a lot of memories associated to all these things that you were like indifferent or ambivalent to or felt disconnected from. Like, why would your brain produce memories, like, or store memories? Like there's no, like, they didn't get pinned in the comment section. It was just like, oh, no pins on any of these, and I'm not highlighting and I'm not upvoting any of these things, so they never make it to the top, or they stay somewhere hovering. It's interesting, though. It's interesting. Yeah, I just remember like not caring about a lot of stuff, even when I was really young. Just feeling like, I don't care about this stuff. I want to go back to my thing that I was doing or thinking about. And that's amusing to me that I have like stronger memories. I think I have more potent memories of certain dreams I've had than events. I would say that's changed significantly though for me now. I feel like I'm actually building memories now a lot better. Mostly because I'm beginning to in a real way, emotionally connect to who I am, what I'm about, and the people I've I encounter and actually give a shit about, especially with other Zoids and stuff that I'm friends with. Like I'm actually being able to establish some of that, so it's a weird experience to like be able to go, oh yeah, I remember when that person said this to me, and this was said and stuff, and they wrote this. Like it's weird to have like memories like that actually stick. I would say with like most of my memories of my like last 20 years are all just they all have just to do with my kids and my wife. Anything else is kind of just it's like just it's just kind of fading away. It's disappearing. They can be recalled. I would just need somebody to tell me exact details, and then my brain can kind of scrape it together. But it's really hard for me to. So I don't sit there thinking about my past very much. Like the more everything just seems so kind of blasé all the time. So it's kind of interesting. Every single nostalgic memory I have is always centered on times when I was alone in my room and I felt safe and disconnected from everything else in the world. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's real fair. But anyway, I'm gonna switch it over here, and I'm going to start reading some of the submissions and stuff. There isn't very many right now. And like I said, I kind of figured there was a possibility that there wouldn't be a lot for this subject. So I'm not really super surprised because there's not too many. And the ones that are there are mostly brief. So let's see here. Okay. And if anybody wants to, by the way, if anybody wants to chat, have comments about anything I've talked about, or have things to share, you go right ahead, put it in chat. Also, if you want to talk, just jump in the server. I'm in the Angst Twitch stream. It's not Twitch, Angst stream VC channel. So you're more than welcome to hop in there and start talking to me about whatever it is I'm covering or anything else for that matter. It's perfectly fine by me. Oh, hi, Shadow.
Hi, excuse the really shit mic. I'm on my phone.
No, it's perfectly fine.
I beg to differ, but anyways.
Yeah, but I don't care about like you know me, like you said it before, like I'm like I can't even pick up an audio quality shitty or whatever.
Yeah.
But as I was going to continue here, I got a few to read, and I mean, are you would you say, Shadow, that you're not surprised that there wasn't that many submissions when it came to a question about nostalgia?
I didn't really see the question until like an hour ago, so
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
Do you think that subject in general would be one that a lot of schizoids would just kind of not have that much to say about, or they would,
I
but they
mean, you know a lot more about schizoids than I do, right? I only really know about myself,
no, I know. But, I mean, you've learned
so I'm
quite a
not
bit,
entirely
Shadow.
sure.
Come on.
Eh,
I'm just asking for
yeah,
your
but
opinion. I'm not asking you for a
when it comes to
definitive
memory
thing.
stuff,
Hmm.
yeah, but when it comes to memory stuff, I don't know because as you said, there's the whole autistic thing where I
Yeah.
remember a lot of shit, right? And I still remember how things feel. Like I'm not disconnected from my emotions. It's just most of the time I want to be.
Yeah. Okay. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, let me see. Let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so this is like probably the only one that's kind of long. The rest are mostly very short. Alright, Dear Angst. Nostalgia for me is a conglomerate of all the sensory inputs that were occurring at a particular time in my life. It has absolutely nothing to do with people. It's also not comforting. I find nostalgia to be painful or existentially challenging in that it makes me aware of the passing of time and the inevitability of change. Temperature, smells, ambient noises, music I was listening to, the sensations and emotions in my body, and the activities I was doing that felt integral to my identity are what I attach nostalgia to. But I don't think about these individually. It's more of an overall abstract impression that I feel in my bones, maybe best described as a vibe or energy. The changing seasons are a big nostalgia trigger for me because each season has an associated smell, temperature, ambient sound, and so on. And each year, when a new season comes around, it recalls the events that occurred in all the previous years of that season, positive or negative. There is a feeling of wishful remembrance that comes with this recollection, an awareness that life has irrevocably moved on from that time and things will never be the same again. I can feel nostalgic about people who aren't in my life anymore. If encounter a sensory trigger that reminds me of them, but again, the focus of this nostalgia is on the entire energy of that time in my life, including my internal emotional state, but not on them as a person. Okay, so that's interesting. So it's all just kind of internal thought, sensory based for this person. Okay, well let's see here. I'm guessing like that description is probably closer to something you could relate to, right?
Oh, easily. There is plenty of random candle smells, deodorant smells, perfume smells, even random smells of the changing of the seasons. Like there's there's a very specific smell that comes with going into winter, but it's very like clean. There's a very like crisp cleanness
Mm-hmm.
of like cold air, and I don't know how it appears, right? But that's a very big nostalgic trigger for me. And then like a lot of bird chirping during the spring.
Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of
There's a lot of
like
memories that
sensory
pop up with
triggers
those.
that'll just. But like I know you've described this before, but like when these memories, they almost like I think you've described them as they resurface like almost intrusively, right?
They can.
Like
Yeah,
they
there's
just
plenty of perfume smells
yeah.
that send me back to when I first started reading books in fourth grade,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like instantly, right? It's just like, oh, I'm walking by, oh, that's perfume. Hey, words on a page of a book I read in fourth grade. What are these? Why are these here now?
Like they just pop into your head, like and you just
Yeah, like
like visions almost.
instantly,
Yeah,
instantly.
yeah. It's interesting. I don't know that I ever experienced that myself. But I know that you've also said there's some stuff that'll that it's not always a positive thing, right? Like kind of like what they said. Sometimes it'll probably bring back like a bad memory, right? Um, and stuff like
Uh,
that, or no, no bad ones, just kind of random ones.
I mean, not. It's mostly just random ones. I can't really think of too many bad ones, right? Maybe that's just because I dissociated from the bad ones.
That
So
could be
like I
a
can think
chance of
about it. It's
that.
like, oh, that doesn't feel bad, but like if I were to actually feel it, wait, that does feel bad.
Hmm. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
gotcha.
for me, I don't have like very, objectively bad memories. It's mostly just neglect and isolation.
And you've kind of just come to terms with that, so it's not really
Yeah.
upsetting. F02 says, interesting phenomenon. Parts of that description hit close to home. Anecdotally, most people I've met seem to have comprehensive memories of their lives, timelines, which strikes me as bizarre. Yeah, no, no joke. Like I'm so if somebody told me like if they said, okay, Angst, I need you to like for this very important assignment or whatever. I need you to sit down for like the next few hours and draw like a timeline of like from your earliest memory and then like like basically like put them in some kind of rudimentary order of when they occur. And oh dude, I couldn't do it. That'd be impossible for me. Like I
There's
just
so
yeah.
many memories I have where I remember a lot until I think about the times. No, until I realize that all the memories that I recall are all the ones where I am with myself. If I'm with other people, I completely forget those memories. Like, there's a lot of memories of meeting my mom's side of the family. Plenty of people that I will be like, I have no idea who the fuck you are.
They'll know you. Yeah, that's so strange. Like if I
And
went
like
back.
so many like social events and like things I would go to with my mother and that my family, but I just forgot every single one of those.
Like I guarantee you that if I went back, because I still have family in Costa Rica, right? And I guarantee you that I had, I haven't seen in like 20, 30 years or whatever since I was a kid and my parents made me go. Um, and they saw me I think when I was like 10 or something or 11, and maybe 10. But point is, if I went back there, I guarantee you there would be family members that would be like, "Oh man, you've grown so much. I remember what you look like, and you look like I could see your face is the same or something like that. Like I would just be like, who the fuck is this telling me this right now? Like I have no clue. I have like zero. Like I couldn't even. I stayed. I think I was like 10 or 11. I can't remember, but we stayed there for like a month, and I met everyone, uncles, aunts, all these people, right? I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I can't remember any of their faces. There's one. There's one. There's one lady, like one aunt in particular. I can't because we stayed at their house, and she had really good food. If I remember, oh, I don't know, and she let me. But I remember only because I liked staying at that house because they had the channel where I could watch in Spanish episodes of Dragon Ball Z. And I remember watching Dragon Ball Z in Spanish. Um, and then I remember the breakfast being good. I remember a goat. They had like a little goat in a little barn thing in their house. It was like a nice house. I think I have no idea, but I remember the goat, and I remember drinking goat's milk. Um, I do remember that there was these fries that they would make out of actual cut potatoes. That's the food. Yeah, they would cut potatoes up and actually make like fries out of potatoes.
And now all of the memories you're thinking of, do you
It's like
like
fuzzy as shit. Huh?
can you find the pattern that you remember these memories because at the time you actively thought about these things, which is why you remember them because they're like contained within your mind, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
just
mean, I'm
like at the
guessing.
time you were just like, "Oh, these fries are notable."
Yeah, they were very good. I remember I would always like almost every day that we were there, I would say, can you make me some fries?" And then my aunt would always make me fries, like for to just snack on in the middle of the day. She would just grab like two potatoes, and then just slice them up, throw them in the fryer or on the frying pan, cook them up, put them on a plate for me, and just be like, and salt them and season them. And I remember just eating those fries, and they were good. And I would
That's
watch
really
Dragon
fucking
Ball
good.
Z and eat fries,
You're like I'm actually gonna make fries now because of that. Thanks, Angst.
like actual fries, like with potatoes.
No, not actual fries. I
Oh,
have a
okay.
bag of already cut up
Oh
fries, but
yeah,
I'm gonna
those are
make
pretty
my
good.
air fryer.
I don't like crinkle fries. Never liked those.
It really depends. Like there's some crinkle fries from some like hot dog vendors that
Really?
like are real soggy, but like soggy with like
Yeah,
salt.
yeah. Those
No,
are
no, 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 no,
good.
no. Yeah. Those are the good ones.
Those
Like
are the
at the
good
bottom of the
ones.
bag,
Yeah.
but like they're not like incredibly soggy, but they're definitely not as
You know who
firm as the
had
other
really
ones.
good ones
Those are
like
the good
that?
ones.
Like what fast food chain had the best ones? Like they were crinkly
What?
and they would get soggy in like a salty good way. Del Taco, because what they do is they have crinkle fries, but they put them in a like a drink cup, right? So they put all the
Yeah,
fries in a drink cup, and so because of the condensation and everything else, like and the moisture of the fries, the ones on top are kind of crispy, but all like everything past like the 25% point, they're like they become like these kind of like just not like mush, but you know what I mean? Like they're just these like
yeah.
spaghetti fries essentially, and yeah, and those are really good. I like
So it
fries.
depends. But potato wedges are those are the things that are to die for.
Papa Mojo's, from Shakey's.
I used to have
Those are
stuff
very good.
like Sammy's and Scotty's.
Hmm. Okay, so let me go ahead and let me go ahead and read the next one here. You know what's really funny, Shadow, is like once I moved over to streaming on both, right? Um most like nobody that was watching me on Twitch, like everyone moved over. Like except for a few. Some still watch me there, like you for some reason. But a lot of the people moved over, and I'll get more people. Like on average, I've been getting way more people watching, but it's hilarious because I'm actually making less money because of the move. Because now no one is resubbing to my Twitch, so it's like now I only have like 9 subscribers, and I don't want people to subscribe on here because YouTube sucks for subscriptions. So I mean, yeah, it's just so funny. So then I have to really like push the Patreon because I'm not getting that extra 50 or $60 a month from
Yeah,
Twitch.
they're, a lot of YouTube content creators push Patreon. I hear that's very, very well liked as a
Yeah,
service for
I mean,
helping.
I like it. That's where I get the small amount of income from doing this work is from that. And then I took a big hit this time because of the whole having to cancel the thing with the Joe, because we're not going to do it anymore. The
Yeah,
Joanna
I heard.
thing. Yeah.
Um,
And it's
I
people didn't
saw
sign up,
the
and
community post.
yeah, we didn't get enough people, and it was like weird because we've been getting enough people consistently for a while, and then this time we just didn't, and so it wasn't worth doing for either of us because it was only going to be like the group of 3 or something, and that wouldn't work. We need at least 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it sucks because that was a big blow to the old pocket. But anyway, let's go here. That, and I'm really sad because I really learned a lot from each of those groups. I learned a shit ton, like from just hearing from all these stories and everything, and getting these perspectives, uh, and then seeing what actually helps is has been a very good experience. All right,
Do
next
you
one.
think you
Oh,
would feel
go.
better? I'm sorry. Do you
Yeah.
have You don't have that many. You choose. Do you want to hear this, or do you want to keep doing your thing?
No, go ahead. You can. What were you gonna say? I don't.
I was curious to see whether you had more success and or more interest in working with the more schizo side of the schizoids, as you said earlier, where they're probably dealing more with derealization and dissociation
No,
than an
it's all
autistic.
interesting to me. It's all fascinating to me. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, I relate more to the schizo ones, um, personally, because that's my lived experience. But I love hearing about the more autistic schizoids because it gives me an entirely different perspective, and I can vibe with it. And even the way they recall memories and stuff are just they feel more. They make more sense to me than the way other people, like regular people, describe their memories and things like that. I mean, I just in general, like I get along with just schizos and autists alike. I prefer to talk to them. Um,
I was just curious because when I went to do that, the one session with you a while back,
mm,
it was like there's still some things I think about every now and then, usually relating to the mask and
mhm.
how much people actually notice, but they just don't say they notice until you bring it up, like very much, like very specifically bring it up.
Yeah.
And but there's a lot of other stuff that I needed to deal with that kind of wasn't along the whole schizoid thing, which is why I didn't do more. You know, mostly just the delusional proneness is like my bigger concern.
Yeah, no, I get you. Oh, that makes sense. That's
So I
like,
was wondering how much of like because I think the delusional proneness would be more like autistic sensory issues, not schizoid. You know,
no, yeah, we
I
get a
have
mixed
that.
bag. Like when we would do the groups. Sorry, Peach, oh, sorry, or PDA Mama Bear, Peach Rat. Sorry, there isn't gonna be a next one, sadly. That's not
But I
happening
feel like you
again.
and Joanna would be really good for people that would be interested in it. Just I had this other problem that's not specifically schizoid related.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. That's why I'm thinking about eventually maybe doing something solo that's gonna be more cost effective, but um, that it's gonna be focusing more on neurodivergent support and trauma, not like and it'll stay schizoid, but it's gonna be more like focused on the neurodivergency aspects of it and the struggles with that because I feel like I have a really good grip on that. But oh yeah, sorry, Petra. Yeah, it's just basically this one didn't pan out. It was gonna be the last one anyway because I think Joanna's got a lot going on in their life and everything, and they basically want to take a what's it called they want to go. It's so weird. It's like a hiatus. Is that what it is? Like, so
Yeah,
maybe
I
it'll
guess.
come back one day. Maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll see. But point is, I'm thinking I want to try something where maybe I could handle like 4 or 5 people, like 5 people. I can handle a 5 person group, and we can get into some really interesting stuff. So yeah, yeah, I think I could.
But yeah, you definitely have the knack to go into like a therapist kind of field. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, I wish I didn't get a master's in history and I got at least a master's in psychology. That would have been a lot better and more
Man, if
useful.
only. If only,
If
man.
only, if only. It's horrible. It's really funny because like my even my psychologist, which I might lose my own psychologist because of insurance bullshit. That's gonna really suck. I mean, I'll be
I could be a
fine.
psychologist. I can tell you to man up and
Coaching,
stop
yeah,
whining.
yeah, okay.
I'll
That's
do
not
it for
how that.
free too.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Um, but the no, even she told me. I think on the last time we talked, she had told me that like she's like she was just telling me how I'm like over time, like over the last 3 years she's been seeing me. She's like you went from somebody that knew like only very kind of rudimentary stuff about all this, and she's like to like being somebody that is like she's saying that like I'm doing like differential diagnosis at the level of like people in her field.
Yeah, I was gonna
um
say she probably sees you almost as if you were a colleague
well, I
by
mean, she
now.
talks to me like she knows I can keep up, and she does.
Yeah.
Like she's like, you teach me things that I didn't even think about or work on, and open up new areas. And I'm like, cool. But so then I just like, that just makes me sad to hear, because I'm like, oh, cool. I should have done that with my time instead of the other thing.
Everything makes you sad, Angst.
That's fair. That's fair. Um,
That's
okay.
just the way you look at things.
Yeah, I'm just a big old sad boy. Okay. So let's go to the next one here. Busy season. I couldn't even consider participating because my schedule filled. Oh, it's all good, crowds. It's nobody's fault. You know, it was going to be the last one
I heard that
anyway.
a couple of times. So maybe if you do something solo, you might be able to have better schedules.
That is kind of true, because I would be able to do solo stuff like at night even, which would be like
Yeah.
daytime for a lot of like people in Europe and other places. So, you're right. It'll open up more times. I could probably do like 2 a week, one in the day and one at night, so that like it helps everybody's schedule. So that is the benefit, because one of the difficulties was that um Joanna was like, huge time difference between me and them, unless they happen to be like in a country that's closer. But if they're like, say, somewhere in like Europe, someplace like Germany or Britain or something, like, oh yeah, that's a big chunk. So we could
Does
only schedule
Joanna
specific.
fly around often?
Oh yeah, she's a traveler. She's a traveler for sure.
Man, I
Um,
wish that were me.
yeah, she likes to travel.
Ironically enough, the guy who whose most nostalgic memories of being alone in his room wants to travel. How ironic is that?
Yeah, Petra. Coaching is definitely something that I don't need a degree to do. Basically, it just means, is anybody willing? Do I have enough credibility, and is anybody willing to pay me to attempt to support and coach things? I can't do therapy legally, so but I can help people go in directions in which they can go ahead and try things that might help them, and experiment in various ways. But I cannot officially do anything like medical or psychological.
Well, as far as coaching goes, I personally think you're capable enough of doing something, right? Because you're almost autistic with the way you're so hyper focused on schizoid issues and talking with other schizoids.
Well, I wouldn't say
Definitely
it's,
have enough
yeah,
experience with it.
it's a special interest, I guess, of some kind, and I think it has more to do. It's more of a it's more of a schizo thing than it might seem like a kind of very specific knowledge or whatever. It's more because I'm emotionally attached to the things I'm trying to like combat, and the things
Yeah.
that hurt me, that I want to see improvement on for others. So yeah, I would say it's the driving force is that, trust me, like I still have to focus to sit there and really parse out, like, say, a piece of research and read it slowly and carefully, because like I just want to speed read and gut it and move forward, and I have to like slow down, because that's how I am.
Yeah, your behavior really kind of made me realize that, or maybe not realize is the right word, but like think about the idea that autism and schizo stuff is like might actually be on a single spectrum instead of individual spectrums, and that's why they seem so
Yeah,
similar to
it's
me.
like a bar. It goes just all the way across. I just don't see how it wouldn't be, considering that the human brain evolved to be able to be highly abstract and concrete. I just don't understand why there wouldn't be people that are just born to intuitively, some outliers that are born to intuitively kind of be in one kind of headspace, than somewhere in the middle. I mean, you're gonna have some oddballs, and I think that's what you have, outliers. We're outliers, but I think we're important, useful, and just overall valuable to human civilization. But hold on a second here. Let me read the next one. Okay. So I got a Dear Angst. I get nostalgia for certain books and video games. Sometimes, very rarely, I can revive the feeling of schizoid hunger I've had with certain people and or employers, and then I feel nostalgic for that too, but that feeling is hard to access as I think hunger doesn't feel safe. Interesting. So yeah, I've heard of that phrase, schizoid hunger. Usually like refers to like when somebody that's schizoid, like, they'll be like kind of ambivalent to like wanting relationships or anything like that for like a significant period of time, and then like some of them will have a moment in which like it'll just hit them like a fucking truck for some reason, and then like all the like the loneliness and the despair from it like will just kind of like fuck with them for like a while, and then eventually they'll get it under control again and then go back to being ambivalent, or be able to intellectualize it as some kind of weakness that they had to overcome about themselves, and then they'll kind of re-stabilize to neutral. But yeah, that kind of sort of like despair or hunger for like the company of some idyllic human being that could understand them, that wouldn't require of them all these things that make no sense to them. Yeah, that'll pop up, and it's not a fun feeling for them. I'll tell you that. It wasn't for me. Let's see here. Dear Angst, nostalgia is usually based around fantasy worlds I got lost in as a kid, such as Doctor Who, RuneScape, and Minecraft. There is also nostalgia about breaking the rules with my brother, like when we would shoplift from the store. My mom had her depression support group on Friday nights, so we were alone and I would shoplift candy and energy drinks and stay up all night playing on private Minecraft server he set up. There is also nostalgia around the internet friends I had at the time, such as my RuneScape friends and the friends I had when I was an admin on a Gary's Mod server. Interesting.
Yeah, they're kind of hitting some games I liked. Gary's Mod, Minecraft. Man, I have so many memories of Minecraft. It's unreal.
I remember I told somebody a long time ago, I said, like, man, you Zoomers play so much Minecraft growing up that, like, you start measuring in the real world by blocks. Let's see here.
Ooh.
Just
finally.
Going, that's about 4 grass blocks high. Yeah. What happened?
Sorry, I actually got through Windows recovery to a new screen instead of it just rebooting and failing.
Well, that's good. It's definitely good.
What was that about? 4 blocks high?
No, I was saying, like, I can imagine, like, Zoomers and stuff, or people that grew up with Minecraft just saying, like, yeah, that's about 5 grass blocks high. Like, like, or that's about, 4 steel blocks up.
Yeah, but, okay, here's the problem. I'm American, right? So, Minecraft measures in meters, so 5 blocks, grass blocks high is 5 meters, and I don't do that shit. I measure in washing machines. That's my method of measurement.
Refrigerators and washing machines?
Yeah. Is it like 1 refrigerator tall? Is it like 3 washing machines wide?
Yeah, that's a good one.
It works, though, because I can see a washing machine, right? I know how big that is.
True.
I don't know what the fuck a meter is.
So if I said about 3.5 washing machines up, like, you would know that? What? Easy?
Yeah, easy. Because I can picture a washing machine.
Like if I put you in front of a white wall, and I gave you a Sharpie, and I said, draw a line about, here's a ladder, draw a line about, 4.5 washing machines up the wall. Like, do you think you could do it?
Much easier. Like, if a washing machine would be...
But do you think we could stack the washing machines and you'd probably get a pretty decent estimate?
Angst. I have hyperphantasia. Easily.
I know, it's funny.
Easily.
So funny.
But, like, I can't visualize a meter. I need something that is a meter long.
Got it. Like, what if you think of feet in, like, rulers? Can you imagine, like, lengths by rulers? Because you've seen
if I had ruler? I don't know, like, the less items I have to visualize, the easier it is to manipulate,
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So if I only have to do 3 washing machines instead of 15 rulers...
Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder, huh?
Because it's not like I can do everything and anything. It's more or less like it's a skill, not an ability.
Yeah, I gotcha. It's still limited to your, cognitive limits. Let me see here. All right, so I got two more. One looks like is a poem, and the last one is a single sentence. So, I'll read this one. In the shadows of the night's embrace, visions dance beyond my gaze. My mind, a canvas of abstract hue, a void of thought, a journey anew. Seeking truths in ethereal light, I wander paths of unseen sight. For kin, for sangha, a bond unnamed, in abstract whispers, our dreams proclaimed. Through realms of action we navigate, in search of solace we articulate. In the coldness of the night's expanse, we find connection in the abstract dance. That was really nice. It's actually quite well written. Anyway, yeah, I can think about that for a bit. I'm gonna have to look at it again. And the last one I have here is Dear Angst. I'm not sure I experience nostalgia. I don't relate at all to the feeling people describe it as. That's it. Yeah. Like the way people describe nostalgia, like the way my wife would describe nostalgia, I don't. I have no idea what she's talking about. It's like such a foreign concept the way she describes it. Like, cause she'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember, and this happened, and they said this, and I felt like this, and it was scary, but it was kind of cool because this, and then this person went over here, and like it's all these kind of emotions, like she's like recalling the feelings she had, and like in the up and downs, and then like the people and what they said to each other and how they interacted, and how what they said made her feel at that time. Like it was just like, wow, it's like wild to me. Like she'll be sitting there, and then like she'll have that look in her eyes, like she's like remembering all these things, and I'm like, what is this? Like I go like, I don't even, like I have to struggle. Like she seems to have some of these like in her back pocket, or like if something triggers a memory, like it won't just trigger like a flash of an image, or like some snippet that she somewhat recalls. No, she'll like remember like the whole event. Like So it's
I can do that with nightmares, but that's called PTSD. So
yeah, you know what's interesting? No, I thoroughly believe that artificial or dream terror, especially when you're talking to somebody that have hyperphantasia like you, I think it could legitimately cause something like PTSD. The reason I think that too is because
fucking easily, Angst.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
if I could ever describe some of the things I've been through in my dreams, like you have no fucking idea. And I don't know if I've ever like truly given you like a comprehensive
you've
like,
done a few
yeah,
more
but like
messed up ones.
Do you like understand the implications of that?
No, yeah, I absolutely understand.
Right? Because those are fucked.
Well, because like I was thinking about something. The reason that I brought this up is because I watched a really interesting little video essay on when that whole dumb TikTok thing was happening, where people were doing the fuck, what is it called? The Benadryl challenge. And
the what?
The Benadryl challenge.
Don't even talk
no,
about
it's grim. It's grim. It killed a few kids.
That sounds fucking awful.
No, it killed a few kids.
That's
then,
exactly what I was about to say.
No,
that sounds
it
like
killed,
another challenge that kills kids.
It killed a few kids and a few people, like teenagers.
What's the next kid killing challenge?
No, and then it got so bad that like TikTok had to remove the tag Benadryl, from TikTok, and they had to like take down any videos that like talked about it and ban accounts and stuff that like promoted the conversation. There's actually an entire the video essay was interesting. It's like a smaller channel, but there's an entire Reddit dedicated to people that have had experiences using Benadryl, and what makes it interesting and unique is that, and I didn't know this until I watched it because I didn't really go down that rabbit hole. Is that the reason it's so unique is because it's like a specific type of psychedelic um, compound that's in Benadryl. If taken to a certain dosage, that's it's a certain type. It's not even a it's not a is it a mushroom or a mold? I can't remember, but it's a very kind of rare type of hallucinogen that you would have like only very specific things would have it in nature. And it's also the kind of it causes I think it's like delirium or deliria, but it causes a specific type of hallucinogenic experience that's really really fucking scary. And what's interesting is they were talking about like a guy who had done a lot of experimentation with it at different dosages and wrote down like this whole thing on what happens to the mind during specific dosages. And it basically just goes from like the dosage you take for when you're sick or you have allergies, which maybe it'll make you a little sleepy, and then the you go higher in the dosage, makes it so that like you get like you feel really your body feels really heavy. People sometimes get this like slight overdose but and use it during like sex stuff because it makes certain feels feel good, and but their body just feels like really heavy and things feel like they're moving slower. And then if you go higher than that, that's when you start like having hallucinations of like minor kinds, like seeing things in the corner of your eyes, and then you feel super heavy and like everything just super slow. And then when you go higher than that, that's when like things get bananas, and uh like you start actually like seeing spiders. That's what's so interesting is like that's very specific. Like people describe at a certain dosage they hallucinate spiders like on the walls and stuff. They're like these big spiders. They're just spiders. And that's a very common thing to see spiders. And
Yeah,
like
I would die because like I don't like bugs because sensory issues.
yeah, you
So
see like
there's a little
ethereal
bit.
spiders crawling on your ceiling and stuff.
Yeah, like bugs trigger a lot of sensory related problems. And what's the one where it's like webbing? It's like trip, trypnophobia or something.
Oh yeah, yeah, with the
Yeah,
holes.
it
Yeah,
looks like a spider web.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get what you're
But it's
saying.
like very insect related, right? There's a lot of like hive structures and just
Yeah,
underground
they're
insect
very they give
related.
you heebie-jeebies.
It's not what I'm looking at that gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's what it's implying is underneath that gives me the heebie-jeebies, right?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Because
F02, I'd consider myself well read on why can't I ever say it? Diphenhydramine. Yeah, diphenhydramine or Benadryl, DPH. The substance class you're thinking is deliriant. Yeah, deliriant. Like there isn't too many things that can do like work as a deliriant. Um, there's like very very specific things that cause these specific effects. But what's weird about it is how what's interesting about it and terrifying, and this is why it's connected to the dream thing, is people have had if once they hit it like the spider level, they'll be like they'll mostly it's dangerous. It's not good, but they'll probably be all right. But it's still like not something you want to consistently do in any way, shape, or form. But the people that have gone like beyond that level, I forgot the term for it, the really high, the really up there one. But that's when they start, because then when after the spiders, you start seeing shadow figures, and you start seeing the Hat Man. Because like the Hat Man is like
hold on, the who?
the Hat Man. The Hat Man, it's like a meme now, but like The Hat Man is like a shadow figure with like eyes you can kind of that are red or white, and he wears a hat, and he's like a shadow figure, and he might talk to you. He might not say anything but stare and observe. He, it'll just be but most of the time it's described to be like more male looking, and like just body. The 700 Club, Ariel, that's the name, yeah, Ariel. The 700 Club is when, yeah, you go 700 milligrams and higher, which is an insane amount of, it's like an insane amount of pills. It's like a bottle of pills. And
Isn't the Hat Man literally just like the voodoo like man?
no, I don't. It's just like a shadow figure with a hat. It's always just
Yeah,
a hat
it's
man.
it's like a stereotypical voodoo man from Louisiana,
Yeah, or something of that nature. Yeah, he'll be. It's a large brim
right?
hat,
That's what
and
it
he's a
sounds like
shadow.
to me.
And what's interesting is that
Like Shadow Man.
the same shadow man, or sorry, the hat man, the shadow person, the hat man. People see the same figure when they're undergoing sleep paralysis. So when they have a sleep paralysis situation, sometimes when people are in that position, they haven't even done any drugs or anything, they'll they'll hallucinate like shadow figures.
What kind of hat? Do you know?
It's more like a large brim fedora, like with the large brim. Like it'll be
Large brim fedora.
yeah, like it.
Not a top hat? I'm
No, it won't
surprised.
be a top hat. It'll be like a yeah, like it'll just be like a just like a yeah like a large brim sort of fedora hat. Um,
Interesting. Or
you know,
like almost like it would be like there would be a feather in there too.
well maybe or like something maybe a hat. Sometimes I know people have said that it's like the hat an Undertaker in the Old West might wear too. Um, but point is, it's like a hat. It's a very obvious hat
Yeah.
shape.
I'm asking these questions because I'm trying to figure out who, like, what kind of cultures are they referencing?
No, but that's what's weird is that people from different cultures in different parts of the world that have done this stuff
Yeah,
have
but we're in the
seen the
internet
Hat
age.
Man. Yeah,
Everybody's seen things. We've been
yeah, yeah.
exposed to culture.
Yeah. F02 says they seen the Hat Man. Datura is another deliriant, which is known to be far worse. Yeah, I heard a little bit about that one too. And then if you go past the 700, there's people that have done like an entire gram of the stuff, and at
And
that
not died?
yeah, and not died, but they end up really fucked up. Like what ends up happening is the like well that's the thing. Like it was talking about how if somebody does this, they literally need someone there because once you get to that 700 point or whatever, or once you get to those higher points, you will forget about reality. Like you will literally forget it's there, and then you will think you're doing other things. Like it'll basically turn into dream logic mode, right? And then you're still interacting with the real world. So like somebody might be thinking, "Oh, I'm drinking, I'm sitting here drinking juice that the Hat Man gave me." And then they'll have like a moment of lucidity for like a second and they're like drinking a bottle of detergent. But it'll feel and they'll believe it's juice. Like there's no way to keep your bearings with this stuff. Like you can't just be so like willpower that you can make sure no you're hallucinating. No, it's like it gets that bad to where like your brain can't tell anymore. Like at all. And so you'll walk out into the street and get hit by a car or something. Thinking that you're jumping some expanse or something. I don't know. And this is the scary part is that when
Not making it sound exciting, Angst.
well, I'm not trying to, but what the scary part is that the people that
No, I'm just fucked up.
yeah that have gone to those points of 700 club or whatever the fuck they want to call it, they've come out of it with they've developed PTSD because of the terrifying experiences, because their brain could not tell it wasn't real. Like you couldn't even process that anymore. So that happened. And so when you come out of it, if you experience something terrible, like your brain thinks it happened. it's not like you come back and you go, oh man, that was so scary. Like, you know, no, your brain thinks it happened. And so you can end up with
Like,
actual PTSD from one of these trips. And they have. And the other thing that's really scary and terrifying is that you can live through it, and then continue for like months, even to have random hallucinations.
have I not explained to you that that's what I've had to deal with? Where there will be lucid dreams
Yeah,
where I literally cannot let the monster get me because
yeah, it's gonna hurt.
not okay. Not okay. I'm not
Yeah,
getting into it, but it's not
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But
because
like I know it's
it's
not
gonna
real.
feel. You're gonna like it's
Like
gonna
I know
trigger
I'm
your sensory
dreaming and
stuff. Yeah.
like I literally know I'm dreaming and like everything's not real, but I cannot wake up. Like have I not explained this
Yeah,
before?
you have. You have. That's essentially you dream like if you're in a hallucinogenic drug trip that you can't just
Like
like wake
there
up
was a
out of.
whole
Yeah.
year and a half. There was a whole year and a half where I'd be like maximum 4 hours of sleep a night because I was just so afraid to go to sleep, which would make it worse on the weekends when I did crash.
Uh,
But not like I could help it.
Gnomes of Luna. I don't think I've ever seen you before. Hi, welcome to the Schizoid Saturdays. We all knew that hell was filled with hipsters. We can see the fedora when they try to break out. Now, what were they wearing before the fedora was invented? I've only met one person out of 10 that's taken Datura without going to jail or getting committed. I'm hypersensitive to diphenhydramine. 50 milligrams will put me in that state. It kind of sucks, but if I need, hey dude, but if I need some for a boat trip or something, I just shave your pill down. Wow, you know what's interesting is that's another topic I'd like to talk about sometime, which is hypersensitivity to medication. Um, I don't know. I know that it's not supposed to work that way, but I feel like I've always been very hypersensitive to certain medications like that are supposed to have cognitive effects. Like SSRIs are supposed to like take a long they're supposed to take like a month before they actually start doing their work. For me, they kick in after like a week and a half, 2 weeks max. Like, and I'll notice like significant differences, and I know I don't do placebo effect because I constantly assume it's not going to work, so I just kind of take it assuming it's probably not going to help, and then and it might not help, but I'll get other side effects or weird, like if they were the ones that didn't work out for me. It'll kick in really fast, and I'll tell my psychiatrist, and they're like, oh well, it doesn't work that way, you're probably just really anxious about taking. I'm like, I'm not anxious at all about taking medication. Like, I'm telling you, like, I'm having
Yeah,
some
I'm popping
effects.
pills left and right.
And so yeah, it's like yeah, some people are very hypersensitive, so I wouldn't be surprised. I doubt 50 milligrams will put you in the Hat Man mode, but it probably will put you in like at least the time slowy spiders, maybe spider mode. But Hat Man, dude, like that's crazy. You can't go Hat
Yeah,
Man with
I've
50 milligrams. That's like wow, that's like way that's
I've never
wild.
had visual hallucinations before, but I've had multitudes of dreams where there would be. I've never seen Hat Man, right? But I've seen a shadow guy before. Like I've seen quote unquote the devil before, right? Metaphorically speaking.
Yeah. Um, F02 said, sounds very. Oh, they're talking about your dream thing. Sounds very similar to hypnopompia, Shadow. That stupor state after waking up is often what triggers sleep paralysis and hallucinations.
Well, I've never
Hypnopompia.
had sleep paralysis though.
Yeah,
Never
but
once.
but but it's just that like it could be something like I bet you if you went to like a sleep disorder specialist, a neurological sleep disorder specialist, they could probably figure out what the fuck is going on. Because there's like
Oh,
literally,
hypnagogic. I've heard of that word before.
huh? Would you?
There's another word called hypnagogic.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
heard of that one before.
yeah. Hypnagogic. I thought it was hypnagogic, but no, but yeah. There's just but hey, look
Either
at
way, I don't know.
yeah, look up that hypnopompia. But there's like a bunch of really interesting, really wild sleep disorders out there. Like when people think sleep disorders, they just think, oh, restless leg syndrome and insomnia and like narcolepsy, but there's like a shit ton of dream related sleep disorders, like where like your REM sleep shit isn't like working right, and like it starts fucking with your daytime shit and things like that. Psychiatrists lie, and I don't
Oh,
know much
this
about medications other than therapy.
hypnopompic states or hypnopompia is the state of consciousness leading out of sleep. So, like the few times where I've woken up directly after dreams that I can't even remember, that like I can still feel them per se, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be hypnopompia. But this is just even when I haven't slept for many many hours, and it's just a normal regular day cycle. It can just be, if I get, it's just a certain sort of hyperphantasia, or if I'm in that mind state, then it's almost like hypnopompia.
It's interesting because I'm trying to think of
It's
like,
just not leaving out of sleep. It's just during the day.
yeah, you could like very well have like a sleep disorder, Shadow. That might be something you want to look into because you can go to a
Well, I
sleep
mean,
disorder
what about
specialist.
it would be a sleep disorder if I can still like imagine shit in my head when I'm awake, right?
No, the sleep disorder part I'm talking about is the getting locked into lucid dreams. Like
Well, I don't know about
that's like
that.
I have trouble keeping myself in a lucid dream when I have one. Like I'm trying to stay in it to fuck around in it. But
Well, see, here's the thing, right? Like when I get locked in those lucid dreams, there's like some real schizo shit happening. Because there was one, like the longest one of those lucid dreams I was locked into. It was fueled by like the plot of it was that I hated myself too much. My self-loathing was getting too much too ahead, and it was destroying me. But I wasn't consciously, realizing that
yeah,
because it's just, oh, I gotta keep the fire burning.
yeah.
I can't let it go out. Can't let it go out. Gotta keep going. Gotta keep going.
You would
Right?
be in the what is it, Lord of Cinders or in
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, like that. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
had a dream where like the manifestation of my subconscious, that guy, like talked to me, and like I was in someone else's body. I don't really know who. It doesn't matter. The fact was I wasn't in my own, and he's just like, you have to learn how to not hate yourself in order to wake up. And literally I had to like by the end of the dream, which took very very many hours in dream time, by the way, like I went to sleep and woke up in the dream multiple times,
Yeah.
kind of long dream. It was only after I was able to promise him up. Like I would promise that I would try. So it gets to some real weird, you know, schizo shit.
Do you I showed I think I showed Leviticus or Mass. Well, I don't know what your name is now, but point is there's a couple of things that are interesting to me in like art and media. Like one of my favorite really strange shows it has like a bit of a cult following is The Shivering Truth, and that's because it's a bunch of like stop motion animations based on like dream logic stuff. So like it'll have a narrator, and the narrator will like make connections, and it'll just be kind of this weird stream of consciousness dream logic like for like 10 minutes straight. And like it's pretty wild to watch, just because I understand that dream logic extremely well, because I kind of sometimes experience it during my waking hours. Um, but the other thing too was it had to do with sleep and dreams, but I can't. I lost it. I lost whatever it was. But I highly recommend anybody out there that likes just trippy stuff and interesting stuff like that to watch this animated show. It's kind of funny, but it's also kind of terrifying. It's like a combination of both. It's really interesting. It's called The Shivering Truth. Um, Hold on a second here. I'm trying to remember something. Oh, I had something to tell you before I ended the stream about the dreams and the things. And then you said something about being locked in the dream, and then I lost it.
Before I said I was locked into the dreams, you were talking about Hatman stuff and
No,
taking
after that.
medication.
No, but then after that, it was while you were talking about your own dream stuff. I asked you a question about getting stuck in dreams, and then I said to go see a sleep disorder specialist, and then I kind of lost
Oh,
track
like
on it.
hypnopompia.
Oh yeah, that's. I think that's what popped into my head. I actually, what's really interesting is that recently, let me see if it's still in here. Oh wait, never mind. This guy. It has a different name. There was like a free indie game that showed up on Steam called Psychopomp, and it looks interesting. It looks like it looks like a very weird dream state, strange psychedelic game. But anyway, yeah, it came out just recently, but it was just free. It's probably a short game, but still, it's free. It's free. All right. Well, guys.
Are you fucking kidding me? That was the problem?
What?
Oh,
What?
either I have bad RAM or I have drivers making my RAM fuck up.
Oh, okay.
God damn
He's
it!
talking about your computer
It
again.
took that long?
Ha ha.
Fuck!
Anyway, all right, guys. Well, I really appreciate everyone here watching. If for whatever reason you want to support me, please do so on Patreon, and that's like the best way to support my work and what I do. I'm gonna keep making stuff. I'm gonna keep working on the schizoid stuff. I'm gonna be working on the neurodivergency and psychology stuff. I am going to be your I'm gonna be the advocate for the stuff that I try my best to be. And I have another video coming up probably. I'm gonna say I should get it up tomorrow, because the editing got done. So I'll get it up tomorrow, and it's gonna be another. I did another video with well, Ptrat slash PDA Mama Bear. I did another video with him where we talked about neurodivergence and being or schizoid stuff, neurodivergence, and being a parent. So it's about specifically like being a parent and dealing with that. And I ask them a bunch of really interesting questions, everything from how their experience with pregnancy was as a schizoid, and how their experiences with like having a child, deciding to have a child, finding someone they wanted to have a child with. All that gets asked, and it's pretty interesting stuff. So it's mostly about them, not really me, but there's some questions asked toward the end, I think, about me, but it's mostly them telling their experiences and me just being very curious and them being very open to discussion. So, all right. Thanks a lot, guys. Remember, Patreon. It's the only way. And when just remember that when day is dark,